Alrighty, good morning, everyone, and happy Friday, April 19th. What a crazy week of these markets. We've been seeing some tremendous volatility, moves not only to the upside at some points, but also to the downside. I wanted to switch up this live trading session to include more people because I've been getting a ton of requests and emails and also seeing your charts as far as just some confusion on exactly how to move forward in these crazy and volatile market conditions and what exactly we should be looking for. So I'm so excited for this event. It's going to be very interactive as far as quizzing. Even though you may not know the answers, it's completely okay. I want you to take away some of the information that I give you from today's session, maybe test it out over the weekend and see how you can incorporate it into your trading. And if any of it sticks, you can absolutely use it moving forward. But again, it is going to be a little bit of quizzing and interactive. So if you can type in the chat, that would be amazing. And again, right answers, wrong answers. The more you engage, the more the information is going to start sticking. I'd say, especially if you've been in any of my previous 3 events, whether it's the flip trade, Master Day and Swing Trading, or the Master Trading Strategies event, those will definitely help you with the answers. The purpose of kind of switching up today's live trading session is really just to help you guys each and every day as you prep for the markets, know exactly what to look for. Am I looking to go long? Am I looking to go short? And having a clear picture of what exactly to look for before pressing the button to buy or sell. So we're going to be going over that today. Per usual, here is our prep screen in live trading with Kate. So trading tip of the day in the top left corner. To identify the best entry points for trading, we need to understand what the picture on the price chart looks like. So simple enough, but a lot of us do get confused as far as what that picture looks like. We have different interpretations of it. So again, as I start to adjust timeframes today, you'll start to see how that picture changes. And then we can ultimately hone in on exactly where to buy and sell and know where our entry is, where our stop, so we can be consistent time and time again. Recapping each week will also continue your growth. So I'm going to be incorporating this into our live trading sessions moving forward, is a little bit more of the recap. Since I haven't done that up till now, I want to be able to give you more direct feedback as far as what happened this week, why did it happen, what should we have been looking for so we can become smarter moving forward, and give you some of those tidbits that I look for to help me choose what side of the trade to be on. Our equity index grid is down here, giving us our 2-candle flip sell zones. So our entry and our stop as far as where we're looking for our places to go short, because the markets are in a pretty extreme pullback. So looking for price to rally up to these 2-candle flip sell zones and look for short trade opportunities. We're seeing the markets continue to pull back on the weekly time frames, the daily time frames. So as we're pulling back, we want to stay trading with the trend to the downside. However, easier said than done. We need to look for those 2-candle flips in very specific locations. So I'm going to give you some insight into that today. So excited about that. Our spotlight trade is going to be crude oil. Entry price 82.47. Stop price 82.72. Based on our 2-candle flip that I found on the 20-minute time frame. Crude oil, just look at the 20-minute chart. Huge move to the upside, huge fall. Even this move up and move down, we need to understand why this happened, right? So why did price stop here and move down? Again, sometimes going up in time frame can give us that information as far as looking for those key turning points in the market. So I'll incorporate that today as well. What's in the news and economic reports and events? News says 5 reasons the stock market's painful pullback may be nearing its end. Now, I'm not too sure it's nearing its end quite yet. We need a little bit more confirmation, especially after this huge move down. But we'll see. We'll take a look at our buy and sell zones today. And then economic reports and events. After a busy week, not a whole lot for today. We'll just have a Fed chairman speaking at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So yesterday we saw that volatility with jobless claims, existing home sales, Fed chairman speaking. Now, as we start to wrap up our week, it gets a little bit calmer, which will be nice for us today. The only thing to keep an eye on really is that Fed chairman speaking, Austin at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So let's get into kind of what's new as far as today's live trading session goes. And again, doing more recap and review from this past week. So again, whether you know the answers or you don't, I want you guys to take a guess. Type it in the chat as far as what you think the answer is. By engaging, you will kind of retain the information more when I do give the answer. All of these charts are from examples using this week's market action. So if you've been keeping an eye on the futures market open, the daily time frames, things of that sort, then you may remember these. But I want to give you some of those indications, what to look for, especially at the futures market open. You know, what should you be looking for? Are you looking to buy? Are you looking to sell? And really breaking it down. So let's start. This example was how the futures markets opened on April 17th, so just 2 days ago. We're looking at the S&P 500 on a 15-minute time frame. Now, you may have recalled we gapped up a little bit. We opened up here. Now, once the futures market opens, how many of you can take a guess? Now, don't try to remember, just try to look at the chart and say, would you be looking to buy or sell, and why? Again, any guesses are appreciated. If not, I'm happy to go over the answers as well. But anyone want to take a guess? Again, futures market's opening. Are we buying or selling? And if you can include why, even better. Patrick says buy, gap up. Yep. So a little gap up. Good indication there. Awesome. Gap up. Perfect. Agree. All right. So I'm going to give you a couple more tidbits. So of course, gapping up, buy, but also just a couple more things I want to incorporate into this. So the answer is buy. So who noticed that just prior to that gap up, we had a fake out breakout? Good one, Russ. Low on the curve, absolutely. And see after that pullback too. So another thing to keep an eye on is when you have a fake out breakout. So just to the left of it, we had a small area of support that got broken through, and then price quickly reversed back up. Typically, when you see price have a support area and it breaks down, followed by a quick reversal, that is our fake out breakout. And typically, that means that from then on, at least for the next immediate several candles, you should be seeing a reversal to the upside. So buy the gap up, of course, that fake out breakout is bullish, and then price also dropped into a pivot point. So not sure if many of us know this, but those pivot points where price drops down and reverses like this is actually a bullish wick on a higher time frame. So if you take those pivot points, let me go out for a moment just to do an example. See what I was looking at. Let's do the, I'm just going to grab a 4-hour for an example. All right, so let's say, let me grab a pivot point. I guess I can use this one. So notice here where price dropped, quickly reverse. This was where price dropped in reverse, creating a pivot point here. Now, starting on the 4-hour, which I just see someone sent me a link to get the Zoom link to get into today's session. So I'm just going to make sure that they get that. Okay, should be good to go. So that pivot point, if you go up in time frame, say from a 4 hour to an 8 hour, let's start there. So still looks pretty much the same. We're just as we go up in time frame, we see less candles, less detail. So we need to interpret the information a little differently. So now we see two candles, still looks pretty similar as far as a pivot point is concerned. Let's take it from an 8 hour to a 12 hour now. Okay, still the same thing. We're just seeing again less candles. Let's go up to a daily time frame. All right, so as we went up to a daily time frame, notice how the bottom side of the circled area starts turning into more wicks. So these wicks are strong indications of where the buyers are coming in and holding price up. Now, to keep it simple, even if you just took those wicks and isolated them, those areas can often act as pretty good support or resistance. The reason why is because those wicks, as you go down to smaller time frames, are going to be pivot points. Those price stopping here many times and pushing price up. So using that information here, if you've got a pivot to the left and price is coming into it, chances are it's dropping into a bullish wicky area on a higher time frame. So good job on this one. About this one? This one was from 3 days ago on the S&P, also a 15-minute time frame. The markets look like this, and we opened up. Buy or sell? Again, we need to be able to look at a chart, no matter what time frame, see what information is present, and then say, based on this chart, I'm looking to buy here, I'm looking to sell here, and be able to put those pieces together. So what would you guys say? Buy or sell? Patrick says sell, wick over wick, fake out, breakout above. Good eye, Patrick. You guys see that fake out, breakout to the left? Michael's waiting. Any other guesses? Good question, Steve. So we can go back to the other one, and then if you have guesses on this one as well, type them in the chat. Steve's question is, so on the first example, how would you manage that trade in the overnight? So we're going to kind of talk about that moving forward. What it's going to boil down to is, where is your controlling breakout pivot? I was deciding whether to say it or not, but in order to manage it, if you get in long here, as you start getting breakouts to the upside, that's showing confirmation that the buyers are in control. So what I would do is bring the stop up based on where those just prior to where those breakout points occurred. What I would also do is, as the markets are moving in your favor, in order to manage your trade, I would say place your stop below where a reversal is going to be caused in the markets. So I would say you could either do a trailing stop. Kind of this one would be tricky. I would say kind of watch it in the overnight session, at least until you call it a night and stop looking at the markets. But then in order to, if you want to trail your stop up based on profit, you can do that. But what I like to do is place it just below the point where I expect a reversal, because then you're getting in at a high probability entry point and you're getting out at a reversal, which is the best point to get out of a trade. We'll talk about that in the next couple charts, and I think it'll make more example, but I'll tie back to your question, Steve, in a little bit more detail. So this one, buy or sell, we got one wait, one sell. Love Patrick's answer. So remember, the wiki areas are huge. If you're new to Kait Trades, wiki areas are imperative to seeing where the buyers and sellers are. So no question about that. I use this each and every time I look for trades. what the wiki areas are simply areas that show buyers and sellers. Top side shows selling because this is where price stopped and changed direction many times. The bottom side, green box, shows where the buyers have come up. And oftentimes you can either see wicks pushing price up, or if you're on a lower time frame, you'll see candles dipping into a range. See that? I see that wick over wick, which I would lower the time frame. This one right in here. All right, let's talk about that one. Good eye. Now this one, notice how price did stop there for a moment, pulled back, and then it kept moving higher. What I would say with this one is, step back and see where those wick areas are. If your wick over wick is in the middle of the wiki areas, ultimately the buyers and sellers are going to be at these wiki areas. You can see it as support and resistance as well. But I like to kind of isolate them based on where I see most of the wicks. So if you can find a wick over wick in those upper and lower areas, I'd say it's going to be a little bit higher probability. This one you can see, let me see, it rallied, came down. So in our buying area, we look for long trades. Now the entry point, so if you've been in some of the classes before, we look for either a 2-candle flip or to go long above a controlling breakout pivot. This one, simple, we've got a 2-candle flip there, we would take it long. This one's a little tricky because if you're looking to take a trade now and you're in between wiki areas, I would say probably wait. I would go back to Michael's comment of waiting until you get a better entry point. The best entries are going to be after a breakout. So in those wiki areas, if you get a breakdown through support, you're going to look for that reversal back up, either using the 2-candle flip or the controlling breakout pivot. As price comes back up to your selling wiki areas, same exact thing. You want to look for a 2-candle flip or the controlling breakout pivot. Now, controlling breakout pivot is for those of us who've been in the events before. If not, you can get more detail. Just send me an email. I can probably get you some information on that. But all it is the pivot point prior to a breakout. Hey, Tom, glad you made it. Yeah, don't fiddle in the middle. Exactly. It's never going to work out well for you. It's better to wait. However, now as price is rallying to the upside, we got to think, all right, we're in a wiki area. I want to look to go short. Should I get in now? This is a question for you guys. Is this a controlling breakout pivot? This is a little bit more advanced. So my previous students, take a guess on this one. Hey, Dwayne, good to see you. Got 2 yeses. So what does the B stand for in CBP? Careful, this one's kind of tricky and that's why I included it here. So in order for it to be a controlling breakout pivot, we need to see that it's breaking out. Now, easier said than done, this does look like price hit something, pulled back and broke out. But in reality, when we look left, I can't confirm that it did break above anything. Notice how this is also in the overnight session. So price simply could have just fallen from a lack of volume. We want to be careful. Remember in breakouts, if you go back to our classes, we need at least 2 touches. This is just 1 touch because there's nothing over here that we can see it breaking out of. So I'd say don't assume that it's breaking out. Otherwise, I want to show you how it panned out. It ended up just going below it by 1 tick, which from how I trade, it would have stopped me out. The reason being is that it didn't actually break out above something. So again, it could have just fallen. You can see lack of volume here, but we want to see at least 2 touches for that breakout. Moving forward, can we see now how this upper point and this one to the left do line up as 2 touches? Because now we've got one here, where here's 2. We did get that breakout, which would then make this the controlling breakout pivot. Take some time, but I think I wanted to include this one again just because I don't want you to see a pivot and just assume it's a controlling breakout pivot if you don't see another touch to the left. Those ones work the best if you have at least one more touch to the left, and then you can use that for the breakout. If not, you want to wait for at least 2 touches, and then that pivot just prior to the breakout is where you often get your reversal. So a couple different ways to trade this. You can wait if you're looking at your charts and prices rallied into your wiki area. You can take the reversal below the controlling breakout pivot, or going back down here, say you missed the breakout down here. This simply means look to go long for the next good while. So even if you miss this move, I would say stay bullish as the markets move higher until you get your reversal pattern, which is breaking below a controlling breakout pivot. That can help you kind of decide where should I be trading, what should I be looking for, just depending on where you're at in the price charts. You're either in the middle of a move or you're at a reversal point. So reversal, break below a controlling breakout pivot, look to go short. If that's already happened and you have your 2 candle flip, look to trade with the trend. And then Patrick mentioned this one before too. So another odds enhancer over here, if you can find a fake out breakout, that shows you who's in control at that point. All right, and then that's where price rallied up, came into that long wick in the wiki area, sellers in control. So again, managing the trade, I wanted to go back to, let's see. Yeah, Steve's question, how to manage the trade. So if you're in a trending market and you get long on a 2 candle flip, simply want to trail your stop up based on the pivot points to the upside. It's simply once price starts to break those pivot points, then you're in a reversal and you should be expecting to be stopped out because the markets are changing direction. All right, how about this one? I changed the time frame to a 5-minute. S&P on the 15th, 5-minute time frame, buy or sell. We'll kind of go through this one a little bit more quickly because then I've got a swing trading example. So buy or sell. Futures market opens. You can see price open, big move up, wick there. You guys think, are we buying or selling? Michael says sell. First line sell, long wick, downtrend. I like it, Patrick. Good job. James says sell. Yeah, so again, it's easy to say, buy and sell now. Map it out, going over what we've been covering so far. So map out your wiki areas. Those show you where the buyers are and the sellers are. You want to buy in the buying wiki areas, sell in the selling wiki areas. Entry point comes down to where do you have a 2 candle flip, fake out, breakout. In this example here, we had a area of resistance, breakout to the upside. This makes this our controlling breakout pivot. If we're looking to take a reversal, we would short it below there. Otherwise, you can sell up here, buy down here. I just like to get a little bit more confirmation. Once we start breaking those controlling breakout pivots, we can get more of a reversal. And yes, the long wick on the top side showing the selling coming down. It's also a very strong selling area over here. I like that you're incorporating the downtrend. I would say that as well. All right, so now swing traders. I did this exercise with another student and I did want to incorporate it into today's session. So it's always good when you're swing trading to just, as you prep for the futures market open, look at where your charts are at and say, here's where the daily candle ended. For the following day, am I looking to buy or sell? Now these are daily candles. So I would say as we trade for swing traders and we want to stay in a trade all day, we want to have a general bias as far as for that next day, am I bullish or am I bearish? So this one, we're looking at natural gas daily time frame for swing trading. Based on this, would you expect the next candle to be green or red? Make it as simple as that. You're looking to buy or sell. And the market's just open. We'll go through these ones quickly and then jump out to the markets. I wanted to kind of prep for the first 30 minutes doing this so you can see what I'm looking for so that we can get in on those entry points. Here we've got buy, one buy. Tom says sell, 2 candle flip red. Patrick says red. Red. Good job, guys. Exactly. So 2 candle flip, Tom nailed it. Red, absolutely. Also incorporate those wicks. So what I like to do is notice that on the top side, there's these strong wicks pushing price down. That makes me think that there's a lot of selling pressure coming down. So that tied into the 2 candle flip, I'm looking for that selling pressure to push the next candle to the downside. 2 candle flip. How about the next one? Green or red? Green or red? Tom says red. Any other guesses without looking? Either leaning red, red. Okay, careful with this one. Once you have the 2 candle flip and it's already moved the next day, especially for swing trading, you can't really use the 2 candle flip anymore. You already got the last one right, so that one's worked out. Now you got to start incorporating some other things. This one, big gap up. Now, why it's green is because notice how his price came down, it dropped into this wick over wick area. So that's showing where the buyers are in control. Price dropping into it, you want to look for that buying pressure. Also on the bottom side, notice how the buyers are starting to accumulate and the bottom wicks are pushing price up. So that's showing that the transition is now to the upside. Be a look left, see where price is dropping into. That wick over wick is a key odds enhancer. All right, I think this one's from recently. How about after this move? Green or red? And then we'll jump into the markets. Rusa says green. Yeah, and there we go. So at the origin of this move up, we've got our 2 candle flip. Good job, Tom. 2 candle flip. And also notice to the left, so I like to incorporate some of the information over here. We had a support, we had a breakdown, that's our fake out breakout, reversal. And then this is a pivot point, which is where there's often a significant amount of buyers coming in. So as price comes down into those fake out breakout areas, you want to look for more bullish momentum. Great job, everyone. Again, I wanted to start with that just to kind of illustrate where we're going with today's session and what to be looking for. So let's go out to the equity indexes, see where we're at. Hopefully you guys found some of those exercises helpful. If you have any questions, send me an email. All right, getting a lot of volatility. We had a big move to the downside followed by a lot of buying. Why did price stop here and move to the upside? Another tidbit is that if it looks kind of choppy to the left and you're not sure whether to buy or sell, turn the time frame up. Chances are it's going to give you a little bit clearer picture. Awesome. Thanks, Patrick. So notice the weekly chart on the S&P. Keeping it simple, we dropped right into a wiki area. So now let's incorporate what we did in the first 30 minutes of class today. Let's kind of map out as we start to adjust timeframes. Weekly chart, we dropped into a wiki area. This would have been one we should have maybe been looking in the overnight session or a little bit sooner. But in the wiki area, we look for our long trades. No real selling wiki area. So I would say just looking for the buying right now as price comes down into that weekly wiki area where all these wicks are holding price up. And take it down to a daily chart. You can see that wiki area looks a little bit more messy now, which is why it's good to go up in time frames sometimes. So as price is rallying, let's see, we are rallying right up into, since we're doing more day trading today, I'm gonna take off the wiki area on the weekly chart. That's more for swing trading. Notice as we're rallying, we're coming right up into this wiki area up here. A lot of selling wicks pushing price down. And that's why I've got these 2 candle flips there. So let's take it down a notch. Go from a 4-hour to a 1-hour. Cleaning it up a bit. All right. Can you guys see and understand where my 2 candle flips are? You look left. 2 candle flips are in what? 2 candle flip, 2 candle flip. Those are located in, yeah, those wiki areas. Good job, Patrick, Tom. Yeah, so again, those are where we find support and resistance. The entry point, good job, Rusa, comes down to 2 candle flip, controlling breakout pivot. So kind of keep this process in mind as you go down in time frames to help you know exactly what to look for. All right, so let's take it down to a 1-hour. Okay. So the 1-hour shows we're in this wiki area. We're seeing a pullback. So sometimes people just like to take the wiki areas as is. For me, if I'm in a wiki area, I want a little bit more confirmation to go short with that fake out breakout, 2 candle flip reversal. The controlling breakout pivot though, I'm not seeing one because we haven't broken above everything. Remember that one controlling breakout pivot that stopped us out in the quiz example? It's because it didn't actually break above resistance. I'm not seeing that here. Picture's kind of tricky, but yeah, this whole move up, we didn't break out to the upside above anything. We just pulled back, got a 2 candle flip down here and rallied. So let's take it down. We need more detail. Let's try a 10-minute. Okay. So going back to the question on how do you kind of manage it in the overnight session? Well, once you have your 2 candle flip, you just want to be trailing up your stop and trading with the markets to the upside until you see price break the controlling breakout pivot. So I'm still bullish at this point. We don't have a reversal. I am seeing that this is a pretty strong buying wiki area down here. So we may have a 2 candle flip down there. I'm leaning more towards bullish. We don't really have a reversal pattern and no breakout. Let's come down to a 5-minute. All right, so as we go down to the smaller time frames, you may see where you have those, where you have your breakout points. I can see coming over to the left here, we had our resistance breakout. So then that means our 2-candle flip is going to be right in here within this wiki area, right around 50.23 to 50.18. Again, price coming up into that wiki area, just seeing if there's a controlling breakout pivot. It's kind of tricky to see. If you don't see it, you can always wait to see if maybe it'll form moving forward. So one thing I like to look for is, notice how it's getting kind of choppy over here on the 5-minute. See, price went down, it went up, down, now it's going back up. It's looking super messy. As price is doing that, I'll just monitor the support and resistance in those areas. Because if we break out above this resistance, then we've got a controlling breakout pivot and we know where to go short. So I'm going to see if we can get that upside breakout. Two ways you can play that. You can either go long on the breakout, staying with the trend, or you can wait for a reversal for it to break below the controlling breakout pivot. I'd say when you take breakout trades, just be careful if it's in a wiki area, which this one is, because then it's going to make your breakout trade a little bit more elevated risk. So all of this is that wiki area that we talked about. I'm leaning more towards a short setup being in the wiki area. Got support down here. So again, we could take the breakout trade short. We would just want a 2-candle flip to manage our risk on the breakdown. I'm going to be cautious on the short trade though, because we're going to be dropping right into this wiki area here. So you always want to gauge profit potential as well. I just want to go up in time frame again. Let's go to a 30-minute. Sometimes we start seeing too much detail. If that's the case, I like to zoom out a bit just to see a little bit clearer picture. So 30-minute time frame helps me see that. A lot of bottom wicks. So kind of like what happened over here, if you see a lot of bottom wicks pushing price up, that could be forming a new wick area, in which case you'd want to look for a long trade. So let's see. I like the 30-minute time frame. We also have a 2-candle flip. Can be right in there where all that basing is. But it's looking bullish. I would just be cautious again because we're in between a huge selling wiki area up here and then the buying wiki area down here. I'm going to hold off for now, wait for a little bit more confirmation because I don't want to go long too soon when we have a selling wiki area up here. I also don't want to go short too soon because we're building this wiki area down here. So I'm going to hold off for now, but I do like the 30-minute. I would just maybe adjust the time frame down to hone in on this zone down here. See if we can get it on a 20-minute. Yeah, this one's good. So our 2-candle flip, I'm liking this red and green here. And it's lining up with this wiki area down here. All right, so we've done our S&P analysis. Long trade entry, 50.25. Stop at 50.17. We're seeing some upward momentum. I'm just putting a pause in it for now because we're rallying right up into this strong wiki area. It could be that fake out breakout reversal to go short. So I want to be careful. I know a lot of the longs are jumping in now. I'm thinking it's going to be the next huge up move. But when you mark your wiki areas, those can kind of say, take a pause for a second and wait. So that's the S&P. Let's go to the other equity indexes. And if there's anything that you guys are looking at, let me know as well. We're getting a big pullback on the NASDAQ. Let's see if we can get in on this one. All right, so You don't always have to go down from the daily and go down in time frame. If once you get comfortable seeing that picture, you can just start on the smaller time frames. So we'll do that here. We've got a wiki area here. We hit that. Our entry is either a 2-candle flip at a fake out breakout point or a break below a controlling breakout pivot. Controlling breakout pivot is going to be where we have resistance. And it's the pivot before the breakout. So I would say this area here. Once we start breaking below this, then we should start seeing more downward momentum. Till then, we should maintain a long bias on the NASDAQ. So if we wanted to go long, let's see if we have an entry to buy, at least until we get a reversal pattern. From a 20-minute down to a 5-minute. We don't have a 2-candle flip. And we don't have a fake out breakout. Again, one to hold off on. Because the only way I'd look to go long is maybe at a breakout point. You got to be careful of the ones that have those huge moves. Because chances are when price breaks above this resistance, it gets in a lot of the longs. But then, let me ask you guys, if we break out above the resistance here, what is the risk of what happening? Or what could this turn into? Think on that for a moment. But what's the risk with this breakout trade here? Okay, hey Tom, why isn't the low that resulted in the breakout the controlling point? This one here, Tom? I almost drew it like that. Thinking this one over here. Yeah, so good question. Let me go back out. What time frame are we on? Like 30 or 20 minute? Sometimes if you're on too small of a time frame and you mark your controlling breakout pivot as this right here, what's actually going on is that controlling breakout pivot is part of a larger wiki area. So I'd say notice on the 30-minute that even though I would say, yes, that is the controlling breakout pivot that took out resistance, for me, I just want to make sure it's clearing a lot of that wiki area to the left too. This is where I just kind of use a little bit of discretion in saying that, you know, if it breaks below here, there's still these long wicks on the bottom side down here. So I'd rather wait for it to break below 17,384. And you could use this. I would just be cautious. Typically it's when it bases a lot like this, it kind of goes sideways and then breaks out. This is where you'll want to use the basing area that we talked about in our classes. So I would say go up in time frame. It's either the controlling breakout pivot or the basing area that caused the breakout. So in this one, I would say more the basing. Okay, awesome. Good question, Tom. All right, let's go back to our 5-minute. I mentioned, good job, Patrick, fake out breakout, basing above. Yeah, that's why I wasn't looking to go long on that breakout. Oh, man. Anyone get the short trade? Let's see. Remember those breakout points. When you're at a high point and you're getting a breakout, be careful. The entry point is the fake out breakout. So great job on that one, Patrick. Did you get in on the short? Hey, Michael, actually don't really understand what you mean by a two candle flip. No worries. So all that means is, let me see if I can find a good example. This one actually doesn't have it. All right, so here's a good example. I'm gonna remove the pink box for now. So the two candle flip is simply where you have when you're looking for short trades, you want to see a green candle coming up, followed by a red candle that closes within the range of the green candle. So all the definition is a two candle flip is for short setups, green candle coming up, red candle that closes in the range of the green candle. So typically it's just green and red. You can isolate that from wick to wick. If you see that group of candles and it's located above a prior resistance level, typically that is the indication of a strong reversal pattern. So you can see as price hit resistance, broke above, two candle flip, that said look to go short below 17,438. And then you look to stay short on that down move. What you want to do is you can look to sometimes take it as a zone entry. Notice this example, it went right through it. The best time that the two candle flip works is right after a breakout. If you see that happen, you want to look to take the reversal, which is what Patrick just mentioned, in that it's kind of like a fake out breakout. It breaks out. You see the two candle flip that says kind of warning, look for a reversal to pan out. Same thing for the top side, the colors are just opposite. So at the end of a down move, let me see if I can find one. Here we go. So as price is pulling back, if price is breaking support, so if you have support, a breakdown, followed by the two candle flip, so you can red and then green. So the two candle flip, when we're looking for long trades, is a red candle coming down, followed by a green candle. That's what signals the move back to the upside. So for trend traders, you want to see which one is in control of the move. At this point, which was in the middle of the night, actually, is when we started that up move around 3:44 a.m. because we had the support breakdown two candle flip. And that simply means look for a pretty, decent up move. Did anyone get the short trade? Well, hopefully, if not, putting some of those pieces together from today's class. I'm just glad I was able to explain it. Are you saying an opposite color after with a selling wick pressure on the green staying within that green candle? Go back. Are you saying an opposite color? Yes. So it's got to be red than green. So it does need to be the opposite color after with a selling wick pressure on the green candle staying within that green. Those are the two candles. Yeah, so it's going to be the opposite one. So the red and green. Typically, I just isolate the second candle, the flip candle, because up until the green candle, it was in a downtrend. So that green candle is the one that ultimately says, hey, look for the next up move. So I would say start off just isolating that flip candle. You can use those as zones occasionally. You can see this one pulled back to it and continued, but it can really help you with gauging trend. Main thing here is that the location is below support. That's the kicker. Okay, let's take a look at platinum. Absolutely. Yeah, these are the entries we like to look for. So as price rallied, that's, again, go back to the PowerPoint that we talked about earlier. The entry is those fake out breakouts. This one didn't have a 2-candle flip on the 1 minute. This is where if you get those breakouts, let's see, maybe a 2 minute. There we go. So Michael, on the 2 minute, we had our resistance. It popped above it. I'm going to isolate that flip candle, which is the red candle. It'll let me. So then as the market was pulling back, that was our ideal entry to go short. And that had a 70, about a 50-point move to the downside. Now you could look to take it short. That's just for me a pretty wide zone to take from 478 to 517. But we can keep looking at some other charts. Let's take a look at platinum. Looking at going long, let's see. I just want to step back out to a little bit higher time frame. Let's see, so daily chart. Let's mark it out. We're in a wick area. There's also selling wick area up here. So you can see where Patrick's looking to go long is in a wick area. So we would need an entry. Be careful because we're forming selling wicky areas on this down move. So our profit potential may be limited as we get to the pink box. Let's take it down to an hour. All right. So if we want an entry to go long, we need same thing we've been talking about all morning, fake out, breakout, reversal, 2-candle flip, so on and so forth. Let's see. Looks like we may have gotten that. I got to come back a little ways. See, we've got a little bit of support over here. If I extend that to the right, looks like we did bounce off that and then break through. So we may have the fake out breakout. Could be forming the 2-candle flip. Let's see if we can get a little bit more detail. What time frame are you on, Patrick? See the 10-minute. Yeah, support, breakdown. Okay, so if we're gonna go long as we came down, yeah, it did break down into that wiki area on the daily. We've come into this a lot, I feel like, where once we come down to the lower time frames, we don't want to ignore what we're seeing. And right now, the 10-minute is showing this to be a pretty strong selling wiki area up here. I'd say before going long, even though we may think that on the daily chart that we dropped into a huge wiki area, as we come down in time frame, the picture may start to shift. And we're seeing that now. We're getting these long wicks on the top side, which indicates selling pressure. Minor support here. So at this point, this looks like many of the quiz questions that we looked at the start of our session. Wiki area up here, look to sell. Not really a wiki area down here. Pivot points. Minor support. Where would be the entry to go long or short when you're in between wiki areas? Who remembers the answer to that? If you have a selling wiki area above, buying wiki area below, where is your entry to go long or short? I'll drop it down to a 5-minute to see if there's anything else. I like to Tom's comment before, don't fiddle in the middle. So we're in the middle right now. We're in between support and resistance, so we got to be careful not to jump in too soon. But remember, the entry is the fake out breakout, which to the left, as we came down to the 5-minute, now I can see we've got resistance, breakout, 2-candle flip. So this is causing this down move. So everything is leaning towards, there's still some more selling coming in. Resistance, breakout, 2-candle flip, causing the selling pressure to be coming in. So I'd be looking for a short entry at this point. You could look to take a breakout to the downside below this support, which would be below 936.5. Or what I like is to wait for another 2-candle flip to set up. Okay, awesome. Yeah, sometimes we have the bias on the daily chart or 4-hour, and we think looking to go long, looking to go long. But then as we come down, we can see that the trend is still to the downside. So when you see that, just want to kind of switch your mindset and bias to saying, you know what, not looking to go long too soon. Maybe that's picking a bottom, which we want to avoid. Wait for the charts to tell you where exactly they're going. And right now we're still seeing selling pressure. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Steve, let's see. Please look back at S&P 5-minute for possible double top. Yeah, let's look at it. Yeah, platinum, more bearish right now. Could have taken that as a zone trade, 941.7. You can see we're pulling back from there. The next trade would be a breakout to the downside. I would simply like a 2-candle flip first to then take the breakdown, but that would be trading with this current downtrend. S&P. Five-minute. We started on the S&P. We did our analysis, and our analysis said, wait for right now, not a whole lot of trades going on. And you can see what's been happening for the entire hour in which we've been looking at the markets. We went down, up, down, up, down, up. Now we're pulling back right now. Possible double top. What would a short entry look like? Good question, Steve. So if you do see a double top, either coming back from here, price stopped here, pulled back, stopped here, pulled back. So for the short entry, all that we've been talking about this morning is we need that fake out breakout, 2-candle flip, controlling breakout pivot. Right now we're in the wiki area, so that's a good odds enhancer for a short. Ooh, wait a second. Let me change it for a moment to a 2-minute. Okay, so we have support here. You can see that's where buyers have been holding price up. What I'm also seeing that's helping with a potential short, Steve, is notice right in here, we had some resistance. Resistance I mark with the pink box. Resistance, resistance, broke out. So then that makes this our controlling breakout pivot to the upside. So if we're looking to go short, I'm going to line up that controlling breakout pivot with the support and say looking to go short. You can either use the controlling breakout pivot, or in this case, really say this entire wiki area is where the buyers are coming in. I would say the short entry would be below 50.36. Let's see, yeah, 50.36 flat. Yeah, good question. I just wanted to turn the time frame down from the 5-minute to the 2-minute just to see this resistance, breakout, and then that gave me the controlling breakout pivot to look for the reversal. Gets a little trickier. You could maybe use this support if you want to incorporate that controlling breakout pivot with this wiki area here. And looking to go short maybe below those wicks, which would bring your entry to 50.39. The only thing, yeah, so that's our resistance, breakout reversal into wiki area. What I would love to see even more is kind of like what happened over to the left, is notice how we had a much stronger, oh, let me draw it, much stronger wiki area over here. Big pop above, and then that signaled that long reversal. Is that if we could actually pop above these wicks, then that's going to be what we're looking for that longer reversal. Right now, we're still holding that support, holding resistance. Let's look at some of the other equity indexes, just see if anything else is setting up. Man, the missed opportunity on the NASDAQ, but just happy that we were able to showcase that. And if this is the trades that you want to be taking, again, those key entry points is simply knowing what to look for and incorporating some of these steps. Come join live trading Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 to 10 Eastern. Let's take a look. So we're getting close to the end of our session. Just seeing if any of the other equity indexes have setups. Let's see. Still trending up. Nothing on the Russell. And then the Dow. Dow is coming into our 2-candle flip zone, 1 hour time frame. So take note of the prep screen zones. This one is hitting 1 hour time frame. And everything we've talked about today. Thanks, Patrick. Good having you here. Really liked how things rolled out today. Awesome. Yeah, good to put the pieces together. And I appreciate the charts that you've been posting. I kind of use those as inspiration to help kind of switch our direction for today's session. So thank you, Patrick. Have a great weekend. Notice that 2-candle flip above resistance indicated a reversal move. So price coming back up into it, we can look for a possible short trade, 38,202. We'll wait for a little bit more confirmation just because we are moving higher at this point. Wanting to see another 2-candle flip would be great. Alrighty, yeah, let's take a look at crude oil. That was our spotlight trade. We're getting close to our 2-candle flip. This is one where on the larger time frames, if you use the controlling breakout pivots, notice that we had support. This was our controlling breakout pivot. That's why price stopped here, changed direction. Looks like we're getting close to a downside wick area. We also have our 2-candle flip above. Let me come down to a smaller time frame. All right, so this is a bullish pattern right now. So even though we have a 2-candle flip there, we always want to see what's been going on up till price approaches our zones. This example here, let's see. Support, breakdown, reversal. Price broke above that controlling breakout pivot, which often indicates a upward reversal move. So as price gets into this 2-candle flip, I would say it may act as a speed bump, but I would say the trend, it looks like it's shifting more to the upside. Entry point to go long, fake out, breakout, 2-candle flip, so on and so forth. We don't have that now. So what I would use for, if you just want to look for a long entry, maybe a 15-minute, you're going to use your controlling breakout pivot, which is going to be right in here in this wiki area, below support, 81.55. Stop at 81.21. That's going to be where our 2-candle flip zone is in our wiki area. Hey, Michael. Thank you, Kate. Try and analyze what you're doing and see if I can figure it out. I'm usually patient, not try to scalp. Absolutely. Saw the drop on the S&P from the news and waited for the reversal to take it back up. Nice. Got in last night, 11 p.m. and took it back up. Great job, Michael. Yeah, so keep an eye on those things. Incorporate some of those other odds enhancers like the wiki areas, 2-candle flip, fake out, breakout. All those things are just going to build your confidence taking those trade setups. So yeah, crude oil, long entry 81.55, stop 81.21. Momentum is to the upside. You can also look to take breakout trades higher. Looks like we are building another wiki area at this point. So I would say you can also look to take the breakout. Speed bump is up above, which is our 2-candle flip, but it does appear that the momentum is currently to the upside. You can also do a breakout trade above resistance, which is going to be above 82.36. And then you would place your stop down at 81.86. Alrighty, apologies, I've gone over a little bit. If you are new to live trading, thank you all so much for being here. Make sure you get signed up. I'm going to be incorporating more of your feedback. Again, I did kind of switch up today's session and invited you all to it just to show that, I want to make these sessions as informative for you so we know where our entries are at, where our trades, whether we're looking to buy or sell. So get registered. Again, sessions are Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, $125 per month. And then you do get all of the recordings. If you did register for this complimentary live trading session, you should get the recording as well. So that's where you can go to register. Again, I'll be updating these. Always love your feedback. Send me emails on what you are looking at. Always post in the Discord group so I can see what you're focusing in on there. And that helps me gauge where to take our trading and our teachings for the day. So looking forward to seeing you all there. If you're already registered for live trading, you'll get the recording after today's session ends in about 30 minutes, as well as the Zoom links for next week's sessions. Hey, Michael, let's see. Can you look at where the S&P reversed last night and see if your 2-candle thing worked on that? Yeah, absolutely. We'll end it with that one. Yeah, so here, price stopped here, change direction. 5-minute time frame, which you would be looking at is, and it's right where we have our 2-candle flip zone. I just found it on a 20-minute. So the entry to go long, and yes, it is there. So I'm just gonna, because that's where we have that. But we look left. Notice we had support here. We had a breakdown. So price hit support, broke through it. Now this one didn't have the 2-candle flip on this time frame. However, you would want to simply adjust the time frame till you see it. So it's not on the 5-minute. That's where we want to be flexible with adjusting time frames. If you don't see it on one time frame, turn the time frame up or down, and chances are that will help you identify it. But we had support. We had the breakdown. Not a 2-candle flip because it didn't close inside the red candle. It does need to close inside the range. But I did find it on the 20-minute, so absolutely right, it is there. 49.72, beautiful. And here's the 2-candle flip. So 20-minute time frame, 2-candle flip, red and green, below support, long running reversal in which we're looking for that upward momentum. Great job, 49. So right at that flip, perfect. Great entry point, Michael. Where you got in is after a downside breakout. Love those because it's getting a lot of the shorts in. And then that's where we want to start looking for those 2 candle flips to take it back long. Thank you, Ken, Tom, Demetrios. Thank you all for being here. Seeing a lot of selling pressure now. Be careful, this wiki area is holding. Maybe looking for the next breakdown. Let's see. Yeah, we're about to break that support. Entry below 50.39. You can see we're starting to form those selling wiki areas up above. Elon, good to see you. Have a great weekend. Yeah, a lot of selling up above too. Again, the more you put these together, especially in live trading, the more I can see what you guys are looking at. Bring in your charts. Let me know what you're seeing. I'm happy to always jump out to other chart setups. But yeah, a lot of information covered today. I'm looking forward to next week and kind of continuing to do this with each and every one of you. Thank you all for being here and for registering for the live trading session. Have an absolutely amazing weekend. Be careful. Looks like we're seeing some selling pressure. So I'd be careful with the long trades. Those wiki areas seem to be pointing to the downside. We'll take a look and recap on Monday again as well. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Michael. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll see you guys all next week. Bye-bye.